It starts right now. A Renewed Mind, hosted by Dr. H. Dante Duckett, pastor of New Kingdom Faith Christian Church. Position yourself right now to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, here's our host, Dr. H. Dante Duckett.
Hello, this is Dr. H. Dante Duckett, and welcome to another podcast of A Renewed Mind. I am so excited that you decide to sit down and listen to this podcast as we go on the journey of renewing your mind. You have to understand and you have to embrace the fact the more you embrace the renewing of your mind process, I believe the more you will be able to handle in your lifetime. Many of us are not able to go higher or go further. It's because we have not put in the work in renewing our mind. It takes work to put this in. It takes work to go through this process day in and day out, constantly rehearsing or reviewing what you did or how you did it and what you shouldn't have done or what you did right. There are certain things that you have to do in order to put into practice renewing your mind. And I'm here tonight to really take us on another journey because it's really about the process. The process makes all the difference. It makes all the difference in your life as you grow in this, as you grow into your life, as you grow into your destiny, the destiny that you have that has been instilled into you before the foundation of the world. I don't care what religion you are, you have to believe that there is a destiny in you that was put in you, that was placed in you before the foundations of the world was set in place. Before, the Bible declares, before you were shaped, formed in your mother's womb, God knew you. And I believe not only did he knew you, he had a destiny placed inside of you. And more than anything, more than what we can imagine right now in the season that we're in, this becoming post-pandemic season, we have been afforded the opportunity to go after our destiny. And tonight, we're going to talk to you about what it's going to take to get there. Now, last week I talked about the tree in me, the roots. I had a part 2 of that, but I'm going to save that for next week. We're going to talk about that next week. But tonight, I want to get right down to this topic, refined in the fire. Refined in the fire. Man, it will take some refining for you to get to the place that God has in store for you. I don't know who I'm talking to right now because you are in a situation, you are in a place, you are dealing with something right now, listen, that you would not wish on your worst enemy. And really, all it is you are going through the process. I don't know where you are, but can you shout the process? Come on, shout it wherever you are. Just say the process. God says you have to go through this process, and it's going to begin tonight. And I'm going to show you why you have to go through the process, and then I'm going to show you what's going to happen when you make the decision to go through the process, because everybody's not going to be on board with you when you go through the process. I'm here to tell you that everyone can't handle what God is about to do in your life or what he is doing in your life. You have a big assignment waiting for you to apprehend, to embrace. Because if you're doing something that you can do, then it's not a God-sized assignment. Listen to me. If you're doing something that you can handle, then it's not a God-sized assignment. He needs you to embrace the assignment he gave you, not the assignment you settled for. Okay, who am I talking to right there? Many of us, listen here carefully, many of us have settled for assignments versus embracing the God-sized assignment. Tonight, we got to embrace the God-sized assignment, but in order to do that, you have to go through the process. Again, let everybody say process. Now, we're going to talk about this very familiar story. I'm not going to read the text, but we're going to talk about this familiar story found in the Bible, the book of Daniel. You've all heard it. You've read it. Someone preached it, taught it, did everything with it. The three Hebrew boys, when they had to go through the fiery furnace. There are some nuggets in here that I believe is really going to help shape your life. I need you to get your notepad out. You may even heard it before, but I need you to get it out. You're going to write down something that you've never heard before this time. Somebody may have preached it before. You may have heard it recently, but I'm telling you, you're going to get something that you never thought you would have, because God is taking you through the process. Refined in the fire. Listen, as we continue our journey through the rest of this season, we must be reminded of what must occur in order for us to be used in our assignment. What God is trying to do through us at this very moment is to get us in position to start working our assignment. God must position us to enlarge our capacity to be able to handle pain. Listen, God knows in order for you to achieve the assignment He placed in you, you must have the capacity to be able to handle pain at a level you never thought you could handle. This is only when, for the ones who have said yes to God, the amount of pain and persecution you can handle is directly connected to how high God will take you. Let me repeat that. I'm going to say that one more time. The amount of pain and persecution you can handle is directly connected to how high God can take you. The Apostle Paul's tolerance to pain enlarged his capacity to fully participate in the kingdom expansion process. He was able to operate in this assignment. Paul's assignment was to expand the kingdom beyond Jerusalem. Y'all got to help me here. Listen, God has given you an assignment that's bigger than where you are. That's key right here. Where God needs to take you, where He's trying to position you is bigger than where you are right now. But until you enlarge your capacity to be able to handle the pain that's going to come with the assignment, you're going to stay stuck where you are. Paul's tolerance to enlarge his capacity to fully participate in the kingdom expansion process. He makes these famous statements: 3 times I was beaten with rods, once I was stoned, and 3 times I was shipwrecked. Paul's capacity to be able to handle what most of us would have never allowed ourselves to be a part of placed him in position. Come on, y'all, say it. I need to be in position. I know you're listening. You are tired of being out of position. You're tired of missing opportunities. You're tired of always seeing other people pass you by that is less anointed than you are. It's only reason they're able to do it is because they are in position, because they have a high level tolerance of being able to handle pain and persecution. Listen, this teaching, this podcast today, and for the person who cannot understand why there are certain things happening to them and not to other people around them, let me tell you this. It's because there is a certain group of people that have been connected to you by God. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say that one more time. There is a certain group of people that have been connected to you by God, whose very life is attached to yours, which means you surviving what you are dealing with right now is actually saving someone else's life in the process. And they need you more than ever for you to get through what you are going through. And the devil knows if he can get to you, then he can get to those who are connected to you. I'm teaching here tonight. Listen. Therefore, God has to ensure you have the inward capacity large enough to handle the assignment he has assigned to you, which means you must go through the process of enlarging your capacity to handle the pain and the persecution. This is why it seems like each time you take a step forward, something is always attacking you, because God is allowing the attack in order to enlarge your capacity to be able to handle the pain and the persecution. Look at the last time you quit something. Look at the last time you quit, because it wasn't because things was going well. You quit because things were going bad. You was feeling the pain of the moment. And so instead of going through the entire process, you stepped back. And what that did, it took you out of position because you could not handle the pain of the process that that God had in store for you. Therefore, please don't be surprised and don't allow a failed moment in the process to keep you from continuing in the process. We all will have failed moments. Let me tell you that. We all will have failed moments in this process. All of us will. And you need to understand that a failed moment can't keep you down. The process, listen to y'all, in the process is just that, a process. It has its ups, its downs, it has its unexpected moments. It contains dry seasons, winter seasons, and more, all are designed to grow you up. I need you to look at yourself. If you have a mirror in front of you, or you can lift up your phone and turn the camera on. Look up, you know what? Look at the phone and turn the camera on. Come on, you look at the phone, turn the camera, and tell yourself, it's time for you to grow up. Come on, tell somebody, it's time for me. It's time for you to grow up. One of the saddest things to see in the Christian faith, let me tell you, one of the saddest things to see is a Christian who knows the word, who has been in church for years, but their behavior during times of struggle resembles a babe in Christ. You belong on meat, but you're still drinking the milk of the word. Why are you drinking the milk of the word? Because you can't handle the meat. You can't handle the pain that the word is going to lead you to. Yo, I'm teaching real good tonight. You know it. Soon as something happens, you break down. You come together. You come unloose like a wet paper bag. You can't hold nothing together because you haven't really leaned on the word. You heard the word. You got excited when the word was preached. You was running around the altar. You if you like me, if you hear good preaching, I'm going to go all the way in. But for some of us, that's all we did. We just heard it. We didn't become doers. You should be on meat, but you're still just digesting milk. This is why you need to be in a good study. You have to learn how to study this word. You got to really learn how to meditate on it. Listen, you got to know how to handle what this word is going to give you. So this is what we said. Because when you go through the process, you will have to lean on, you will have the word to lean on. Listen to me. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you are going through at this very moment, you were built for it. All the training you went through, all the sermons you heard, and in most cases, all the Bible studies you attended. Listen, we were built for that moment, this moment that you're in. The process you are going through right now is called the refined fire. It's designed not to kill you, but to build you. It's designed to build you up, not tear you down. It's deconstructing you to build you up higher and stronger than when you were before you started. When I was in the military, you find out after you've gotten out and you realize what happened when you went to basic training. This is why they had to take us through basic training because they had to deconstruct everything we thought we knew about what work looked like or what effort felt like and build us up their way. And what God is doing, he has literally trying to deconstruct you so he can build you up the way he sees you. But until you embrace this process, you're going to always come up short. And know that God has to use, listen to me, someone to get out of you what you have been sitting on, what has been lying dormant inside of you. And listen to this. And the main character in our text is being used by God. Listen, this is coming from Daniel chapter 3, verses 1 through, I believe, 27. Going 1 through 27. So listen what it says. This is about when Nebuchadnezzar decides to build a gold statue of himself. Nebuchadnezzar, he's the current king of Babylon, decided to build an image of gold to ensure everywhere the people looked, they would see him and worship him. Can I tell you this? I'm giving you this for free. Be careful with folk who always are doing something to say, look at me. The devil, the enemy's primary attack is directed to your eyes. He uses your eyes because he knows it's the weakest area. And in most cases, he will always launch a visual attack. Nebuchadnezzar's image, which was a plan planted by the devil in him, was designed to ensure the people worship a man and not God. Nebuchadnezzar, though, really was not the problem. It was the plan the devil planted in him. That's the problem. The plan to distract the people from discovering who God really is. This means any of us can be used to be a vessel for the enemy. He can plant a plan in us, specifically designed to distract the people that are connected to us. This is why Paul constantly challenges us in his writings to guard our mind. That's the reason why God told me to create this podcast, A Renewed Mind, because if not, we will constantly be used as a vessel for the enemy. The enemy, because the enemy, if he gets into our mind, he has the power to use us to distract people. The word says, be ye transformed. That's our scripture, by the renewing of your mind. But what I discovered when I read the beginning of chapter 3 in the book of Daniel, it was not Nebuchadnezzar who instructed the people to bow. And he, listen to instructed the people to bow. The scripture says, and he did was to build a statue, and he brought leaders to the dedication of the statue. But verse 4 says, the herald cried aloud, you shall fall down and worship the gold image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up, and whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast immediately in the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Listen, Nebuchadnezzar never gave those instructions. I'm hoping somebody get this tonight. Nebuchadnezzar never gave those instructions. It was a person connected to him that issued that decree. And if you are not careful, you may have a rogue herald in your midst. I need you to say to yourself, get that phone out again. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in that phone and tell yourself, shrink your circle. Come on. I need you to shrink your circle. Shrink your circle. Because if you don't, you will have folks speaking on your behalf who are not authorized to do so. But because they are close to you and you have given them access to your life, they feel that they have the right to speak for you. Listen, I don't know how many times I need to tell you this, but I'm going to say it one more time. Association will lead to assimilation, and the wrong assimilation could lead to your devastation. Let me say it again. Association will lead to assimilation, and the wrong assimilation could lead to your devastation. The herald spoke on the behalf of the king, and it affected all the people. And the Bible declares in verse 7, All the people, nations, and languages fell down and worshiped the gold image, all because of the zeal of one person. Y'all better get this. It is dangerous for the wrong person to have the ear of someone in power. Oh, I know I'm teaching good tonight. I know it. I know I'm teaching good. The scripture declares every nation and its people, because of fear, bowed down. They refused to go the way of the fire. They decided to worship an image. Listen to this. They weren't worshiping Nebuchadnezzar, the man. They was worshiping an image of him. Y'all are worshiping false idols and y'all don't even know it. You don't even know it. Why? Because they feared the fire. I'm here to tell you that you must go through the fire in order to be refined. The people feared the process. Listen to this. Therefore, they bowed down to an image. Fear will have you do things that is absolutely contrary to what you grew up on. Your child is doing things that is absolutely opposite of what you taught them. They didn't see you do that, but because they allowed the association of other people to lead them to the wrong assimilation, it's carrying them to a path of devastation. Therefore, they stay connected to what they knew was opposite of who they are because of fear. Listen, but these three men made a decision. You know the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were told that if they did not bow down to this image, I'm here to tell you, man, integrity is real. God, the enemy, will challenge your integrity. They said, the king said, if you don't bow down to my image, you will be thrown into the fire. But these three men who made the decision to live up to what they were, I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm talking to you. No, I knew I realized I was talking to me. Can I tell myself something? Dante, stop thinking you need more than three persons who will support you. I just said something about all you need is three. In fact, if you have more than that, then you have too many. These three men instantly took over the narrative of Daniel chapter 3. They instantly took over the narrative because what they decided not to do is do what everyone else was doing. They decided not to do what everyone else was doing. Listen, I know we want to rush and get to the moment when they go in the fire. But we're not going there yet. Understand the fact that every nation and all the people worshiped an image, but these three decided not to. And that's when the problem starts. I'm challenging somebody right now. When you make the decision to go through the process, this is when the problems will start. You better understand this. When you say yes to your assignment, don't expect everyone to agree with what God is telling you to do. And that's when the problem starts. When you embrace the refined by the fire process, know that's when your problem's going to start. Everything that can go wrong, it's going to seem like it's going wrong. Folk who embrace the process understand that following the crowd will lead you away from the process. I'm not going to get through all this tonight. You know what? I'm going to have a part 2 next week for this. I know I am. I'm not going to get through all this because I don't even want to rush it. It's so good. I don't even want to rush it. Listen, understand that following the crowds will lead you away from the process and into a season and lifestyle can consistently lead you away from God. Crowds consistently go the way of convenience, whereas refined by the fire is specifically designed to create a consistency beyond convenience. Oh, okay. That's really good right there. And I need to say that one more time. I do. I really do. Listen. crowds consistently go the way of convenience, whereas refined by the fire is specifically designed to create a consistency beyond convenience. It would have been convenient for these three men to just bow, but like kryptonite to Superman, convenience is to the refined fire. This is why many of us are where we are right now, because you know if you decided to do what God called you to do, you will be led straight into the fire. Therefore, many of us bow to bypass the process. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. I'm going to say it one more time. Many of us bow to bypass the process. But listen, I know there's somebody here that's listening that understands that if God brought you through a pandemic that was designed to kill you, he can keep you through the process. Because contrary to what you used to hear, breakthroughs come when you decide to go through the process. Now listen, I'm getting ready to get to a point where I'm going to have to slow down just a little bit, because I may be able to finish it. I thought I was going to do it, but I think I'm going to be able to finish this. Listen to this. When you embrace the refined by the fire process, listen to what verse 19 says. Then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the expression on his face changed. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Towards Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because when you embrace the refined by the fire process, look at what the first thing you need to understand. You need to expect the people to display their true self. The text says, Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the expression on his face changed. Folk gonna change when you embrace the process. I'm telling you right now. Folk will change when you embrace the process. Don't believe me? Try it. The true them, they're either going to support you or they're going to turn against you. There's going to be two things that's going to happen. There's going to be one thing. The real person is going to show up. This pandemic revealed what was really going on the inside of us. Were we really sticking with the word? Or were we going to allow the word, or were we going to allow the pandemic to direct us? Come on, listen to what I'm saying here. Are we going to really lean on the word? Or are we going to lean on what CNN, MSNBC says? Are we going to allow ourselves to really hear what God has to say? Listen to me. When you decide to go through the refined by the fire process, I'm here to tell you that you're going to have folk that you thought was with you, that was going to support you, going to turn their back on you. Not only that, they're going to order you to go in that furnace, that fiery furnace. They're going to make sure that the furnace is heated up 7 times hotter. That's what the text says. Text says the furnace was turned up 7 times hotter, because they decided that they was not going to bow. Number 2, let me read the next verse. It says, verse 20 says, and he commanded certain mighty men of valor who were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Second thing you need to write down. I'm hoping you got some paper and pencil right here. Expect the people to constrain you because they can't control you. Okay. I'm telling you that you have to go through this fire, but I'm telling you what to expect when you go through the fire. Expect the people to constrain you because they can't control you. They couldn't make these 3 Hebrew boys do what they wanted them to do, so they bound them up. The text says they called certain mighty men of valor who were in the army. They was trained men. These were Lord's servants. Listen to me. The enemy is not crazy. He knows who you are. He knows what you're capable of. That's why he's sending trained demonic forces to fight you. Okay, y'all really ain't ready for this. He's sending his highly trained demonic forces to make sure you bow. Why? Because they can't control you. They're going to constrain you. Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody here on this podcast tonight. Listen, next thing, I told you the first one was expect the people to display their true self. Second was expect the people to constrain you because they can't control you. Look at the next. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Okay. Let me tell you this. This is the third one. Write it down. Expect your posture and position to shift unexpectedly. Okay. I'm here to tell you that when you go through the process, something's going to come up and hit you that you weren't expecting. I'm telling you right now. You need to understand. I'm not going to try to blow smoke up you right now. I'm not going to say you're going to be ready to handle everything, because you're not. You're going to fall. And I'm not talking about falling because you sinned or something like, no. I'm saying you're going to fall because the enemy going to hit you so hard, and it's going to be a sucker punch that you weren't expecting, and your knees going to buckle and you're going to fall without even having the support to hold yourself from falling or keep yourself from hitting that ground. Expect your posture and your position to shift unexpectedly. Why? Because you're going through the process. You can't tell me that Paul expected to be beaten. You can't tell me Paul expected a snake to bite him. You can't tell me Paul expected to be shipwrecked. You can't tell me Paul expected to be left for dead after he was stoned. Come on. He wasn't that holy. He wasn't expecting to go through all of that. But because he had enlarged his capacity to be able to handle pain, he was able to get through it. Can I tell you that sucker punch that comes from the enemy, you're going to be able to make it through it? How do I know? Because you made it through the last one. Don't tell me you expected everything the enemy to do to you that you expected. No, you're not. So expect your posture and your position to shift unexpected. Then, look at this. The next verse says, "Look," he answered, "I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt." And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Wow, this is good. Expect power, whoever's in power, to announce God's favor on your life. Expect power to announce God's favor on your. Nebuchadnezzar had no choice but to say, as one of my pastor friends says, he got it wrong. He got it wrong about them. And you know what? That's what they're going to say about you. I got it wrong. I thought you were this person, but I've come to find out you really are this person. I got it wrong. They're going to get it wrong, but they're going to announce God's favor on your life. They're going to announce who you really are, because what they thought you were, you're not. Because really, they're going to figure out that you are who God says you are. You're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. You are who God says you are. They are going to announce. Nebuchadnezzar says, "I see 4 men loose." And then he told them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, "Come out of here right now." He announced God's favor on their life. And I'm about to close on this. Listen. And the last point I'm going to give you as I close. Verse 30 says, "Then the king promoted Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego in the province of Babylon." Please write this down. Get this. Share it with somebody. You need to expect promotion by way of partnership as a reward for finishing the process. Man, if you ain't run out of your house, you ain't saved. Expect promotion by way of partnership as a reward for finishing the. the process. Do you not know that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego got promoted in the enemy's territory? Oh my God. So many of y'all are trying to stay out of the enemy's territory. Oh, I didn't even have it. So many of us are trying to stay out of the enemy's territory, but God let me to tell you that your blessing and your promotion is going to be found in the enemy's territory. Oh my gosh. That's the reason why you got to get refined in the fire. Because your blessing, your breakthrough is found in the enemy's camp. But you can't go, you're not going to be able to get it because you're always avoiding it. Listen to me. I'm going to repeat these 5 again and we're going to close out. First one says, expect the people to display their true self. Second, expect the people to constrain you because they can't control you. Number 3, expect your position and posture to shift unexpectedly. Number 4, expect power to announce God's favor on your life. And number 5, expect promotion by way of partnership as a reward for finishing the process. Listen, you got to go through the process of being refined in the fire. Listen, this was your host, Dr. H. Dante Duckett, for another podcast of A Renewed Mind. I hope you got it. Please share this podcast. Go to pray.com, pray.com. Subscribe to it. Share it with as many friends as you possibly download all of them. Or you can go to Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Come on, subscribe, download all. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Spotify. I'm everywhere. Search it, look it up, get all the podcasts of Renewed Mind. I'm your host. Again, it's Dr. H. Dante Duckett, and I'm out of here because guess what? It's time to be renewed. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. God bless you. Have a great day.
You have just been blessed by the transformational teaching of Dr. H. Dante Duckett. Tune in next time to another segment of A Renewed Mind.